To welcome us to Gonzaga University, we invite Anastasia Wendlinder from the Religious Studies Department of Gonzaga University and member of the Big Tree Board and instigator of good news herself.
Well, good afternoon. I think this thing grows every year. It seems bigger and bigger, so I think that's wonderful. I welcome you to Gonzaga University and into this sacred space. I see a lot of familiar faces as I look around, and I also see a lot of new faces that I haven't seen before, which is wonderful. This space is sacred because, not because it is located at a religiously affiliated institution, although I think everyone knows that I think Gonzaga is very special. No, this space is sacred because of your presence. Your presence. Living, breathing symbols of the sacred work you do to create justice and love and wholeness in the world. As Sister Mary Ann mentioned, I'm on the Religious Studies faculty here at Gonzaga, and I also co-direct our graduate program, which is the Master of Arts in Theology and Leadership, and also the new Francis Youth Institute for Theology and Leadership. So if you're interested in any of those two programs, I'm the person to see for that. But I also served on the board of directors for the Big Tree for a number of years. And in addition to that, I also am on the planning committee for the annual Eastern Washington Legislative Conference. So how many of you have gone to that before? Excellent. If you haven't gone to that, it's a really important and great place to participate in community. So that'll be coming up, and I'm sure Mary will talk about that. One thing these dimensions of my vocation have in common is a commitment to furthering the cause for ecumenical and interfaith dialogue. Ecumenical and interfaith dialogue are absolutely critical to building the kind of unity this world needs to thrive. And not only to thrive, but even to survive. I often refer to a person who was preeminently committed to this cause during his lifetime, Cardinal Edward Cassidy, who was the former president of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity. He wrote on the urgent need for further progress in ecumenical and interfaith education, which to his mind and also to mine is not an option, but a requirement in this world that he says, and I quote, lives pretty much on the fringe of absence. The type of education needed is rooted in dialogue, which, he quotes from former Pope John Paul II, now St. John Paul, is an indispensable step along the path towards human self-realization. Self-realization both of each individual and of every human community. And he concludes, dialogue is not simply an exchange of ideas. In some ways, it is always an exchange of gifts. This afternoon, in this sacred space, you're going to hear of the many, many gifts you and many persons in our faith communities and throughout our region bring to the table. For over 30 years, the Big Tree has been heeding Cardinal Cassidy's call, not only in educating us in ecumenical and interfaith dialogue, but in bringing the community together to hear and to share the good news of all of your gifts. I'm very grateful for your work and for your support, and I'm so happy to have you here today.